Hey, feathered friends. I am so thankful for you and thankful that we have this time together to draw. My name is Paige Byrne, and I'm the illustrator of Songbirds. And I chose today to draw the little parrot, and you will find him. He's playing a banjo with all of his friends. And I chose to sketch him today together because the parrot, even though he's not from it's on this page right here, and he's kind of in the middle of the book, so that's why I chose to draw him too. But the parrot is, and I've got a screen that I want to share with you, but I chose the parrot playing a banjo because the banjo is a very popular instrument in my home state of being in from Tennessee with Shelton, the author. So I am excited to share this with you today. So what we want to do first is check out what we've got to draw. So when we first look at the parrot holding the banjo, I see that his little wing, his wing has really got the banjo tucked into the body. So the banjo is a circle shape with this long stick, right? This long little rectangle here. And then the wing is stretching out and over. I see a little bit of a wingtip covering the handle of the banjo. And then we've got some feathers swishing out the back. And we've got a little string of pearls here. And it looks like this beak is really strong. So we're going to break that down into a simple shape, the triangle. There's the first dot, 1. We'll go up for 2, down for 3, and back. And I'll show you how to do that inside right there. And then we'll finish out with the parrot head. All right, so let's start drawing. And let me get my camera going. Okay, so for the first thing I do, and this is an option for you, you can choose to do this square shape if you would like to, but I usually do it really for just myself to make sure that I stay within my camera window, because sometimes in art, you guys probably know from attending art class in school or little studios, you can really kind of get carried away with your space and make a big mess, and that's wonderful. All right, so now we're going to start with the wing. So just to I use a Sharpie a lot, you guys, because it's easier to kind of see and watch sketch, but I'm just going to plan out my area for the bird, and then that's about where the banjo is and the tail feathers. Okay, so I've just kind of mapped out with a light sketch of where the parts of my bird go. So, and I want to remind you, like when we are drawing together, I am teaching you how to do certain things like draw wings of birds, but I want you to know that as an art teacher, as an artist, I am very aware that we all have different styles and we all have different ways of drawing things. So when we draw together, keep that in mind, that our drawings might look similar and they might look very different, but what's important is we're sharing ideas with each other, and every idea is a good one. All right, so there we have our first wing going, and now I'm going to start the banjo shape. So I'm going to go around at the top and around at the bottom. And then I'm going to do a copycat line. Copycat on the top and copycat on the bottom. And remember, I stopped about right there because I remember that banjo, the handle of the banjo comes out from that space right there. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my rectangle, a nice big rectangle. And I'm going to stop about right there because I remember part of his little wing was coming out from underneath, and I finish. Now those instruments, the banjo, the tuning parts, they can just go right here. And I'm just doing a rectangle and 3 dots. A rectangle on top and a rectangle on the bottom plus 3 dots. And now I can put in that little circle, like a guitar has that kind of circle shape right here, and I can fill that in. where it makes the sound come nice and strong. And then I'll put my strings in there. And you can see I kind of went at a diagonal. It didn't quite match up, but that's all right. All right, now we're going to draw the bird part. But let me just go back to our screen. Let's just check out our illustration again. All right, so we just drew the wing. Now we've got our banjo going with the handle. I think I added a little style there with my circle in the middle, but that's okay. So now we're going to go up with the head. Remember that triangle space for the beak, and then around and out and back down. And we'll remember those tail feathers. Now this piano is covering the feet, but I have a feeling we're going to be okay there and we can figure that out. All right, let's go back to our drawing. So we're going to go up, up. We've got to remember our beak. Remember that 1 and 2 and 3. Now when I draw this triangle, this beak, I'm going to have to swing and curve my line. So these little dots help me, but I don't want to go direct because I can't do my curved line. So I'm going to do a nice curved line and then back and then curve and then back to my original dot right there. So what I meant by that is if we did our 3 dots and we went straight and then we opened it up, that would be a really cute beak for another type of bird, but we're doing the parrot. So I kind of only did the dots, then I can curve it, boom, in because our parrot is singing along and out, and then just go right on back. Okay, and I can put a little extra line in there to do the color of his tongue later. Excuse me, I'm outside I'm outside in Georgia. I'm not in Tennessee, I'm in Georgia, and there are little gnats and birds and dogs. I'm outside, so you might hear some extra sounds. Okay, artists, now I'm gonna take my marker and just kind of do a zigzag line for the head. I went up and over, zigzag all the way down, zigzag down, and now I can pretty much go straight down. And I'll give him a little shape. So I'll go out a little bit and around the wing. And now I'm going to flip those tail feathers out. And I'm going to do 3 sections. So I'm going to do a little mark. Section 1, section 2, and section 3. And that just kind of helps me make sure I get all these cool feathers, tail feathers that come out. So I'm going to go out to the first and carry it down. You can see how they overlap. Out to the second and carry it down. And out to the third and carry it down. We've got a nice, strong little tail feather there. So now, artists, we're just going to connect the rest of his body. So I'm going to come down below the banjo and do a line that goes towards the tail. And now I'm going to come down and do another line that goes towards the space where we're going to create his little feet. So I like to do like these little parentheses, and you might know this from doing your writing in school. They're little parentheses. Excuse me. And I can show a little movement and bend his leg. Maybe he's got his tapping his feet. And then I'm going to do that zigzag line, but I'm going to curve it a little bit. And here's what I mean by that. I could do a zigzag line for the feet, but if I curve it, curve, you can see how it gives a little bit more realistic foot, and I can erase that later. Curve, and back. And that little claw might go behind. Curve, because I went out of my space. I want to make sure you guys see. Okay, the eye. And they're not perfect, but that's okay. It still has the same effect of a parrot. When someone, it's just like reading a book. You just kind of look at this picture and you say, oh, there's a parrot playing a banjo. All right. And so when people see your art, that's immediately what they see, and that's what they will read. All right. So here we go up into the face, and there is my practicing marks. So I've got a big eraser here. I'm just going to get rid of that. And I'm keeping in mind the shape of a lemon or a football. And let me tell you why I say that. So let me go back to my picture. you can see, right? See how this, it kind of like has an eye with that curved above and curved below, and then it comes to a point, and then we've got our circle in the middle. So that's kind of a nice space for the eye in there. All right, so let's go back to our drawing. All right, so we're going to, around the nose, just find a spot at the above his little beak here, a curve above and a curve below, and just come back in towards the beak. And then you'll have that kind of eye lemon football shape, and then a nice circle and the pupil inside, and there you've got it. Now, to show some movement, we want to add some expressive marks back here, but as I just said that, I just noticed that my little wing right here is missing. So we want to remember that. Pardon me, everybody. So I'm going to draw a line that goes out, 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 and it just kind of disappears behind that banjo handle. But underneath, we can make some little feather marks to show that that wing is not missing, but it's just behind the handle with the top of the wing there and a feathery bottom right here. All right, so artists, I mentioned that I'm from Tennessee, and so I am going to do some curvy lines that go up and behind my parrot, and then a land line, one on the left and one on the right. And you can join me in those mountainous Tennessee lines, or you can draw your own background. Maybe your parrot is on stage and it's got some lights coming down in the theater. Or maybe your little parrot is just chirping from the tree. So you can design your background how you would like to. But here's how I will finish my background out. I'm going to start a mountain that goes up behind his head and down, and whatever space I have left. And I can put some action in the background, and then the land line that I mentioned, a line on the left and a line on the right. And artists, you may keep your artwork looking black and white, just like this, or you may add your own colors to your bird. So thank you for joining me today. I am so glad, oops, let me just end that. I am so glad to have seen you and worked with you today. I don't want to share that. Okay. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Sorry, I'm getting new at this, and we'll keep it rolling. But thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to working with you for the next one. Okay, toodles.